All right, welcome back everyone to the deep dive. Today we are diving into the world of, well, a bird. A really amazing bird, actually.
Yeah, they're pretty spectacular.
Yeah, the Quetzal. Now, some of you might be thinking a whole episode about a bird, but stick with us because this isn't just any bird.
No, no, not at all.
This is a creature that's woven into the very fabric of Mesoamerican cultures.
That's right. Their history, their legends, their beliefs.
It's all there. We're going to be pulling from a variety of sources to really dig into why this bird is so much more than just a pretty face.
Speaking of pretty faces, have you ever seen a Quetzal in person?
I wish. I've seen pictures and videos, of course, but never in the wild. But I mean, that plumage, that brilliant green and red, it's just stunning.
It's captivating, isn't it? And it's that visual splendor that really ties into why this bird is so revered in Mesoamerican cultures.
So, okay, we've established that the Quetzal is visually striking, but what exactly makes it so special, so revered, like you said?
Well, you have to understand that in these cultures, visual symbols held immense power. The Quetzal, with its vibrant colors, was believed to reflect specific attributes of a very important deity, Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl, now that's a name I've heard before. Wasn't he a major god in both Aztec and Mayan beliefs?
Exactly. And his name actually translates to feathered serpent.
Feathered serpent, wow. Okay, so how does the Quetzal, the bird, tie into this feathered serpent god?
Well, the Quetzal's dazzling green plumage was seen as representing Quetzalcoatl's divine essence. It symbolized his connection to both the sky, with its ability to fly, and the earth, with its earthy green tones.
So the Quetzal is basically like the living embodiment of a god. That's a pretty big deal.
Just imagine ancient rulers and priests adorned with these sacred feathers.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can only imagine the impact that must have had.
It was a powerful visual representation of their connection to the divine.
And speaking of powerful visuals and connections, you mentioned legends earlier. Can you tell me about the legend of Tecunuman? I've heard whispers of this story.
Yes, Tecunuman. He was a Quiche Maya prince who bravely fought against the Spanish conquistadors, led by Pedro de Alvarado in the 16th century. And the Quetzal plays a central role in his story.
Okay, so for those of us who might not be familiar with the Quiche Maya, who exactly were they? And what was going on with the Spanish conquistadors?
So the Quiches were one of the dominant Maya groups in the highlands of what is now Guatemala. When the Spanish conquistadors arrived, they sought to conquer and colonize these lands, leading to some pretty violent clashes. Tecunuman emerged as a fierce defender of his people and their way of life.
So a true hero then. And how does the Quetzal come into his story?
The legend says that during a battle, Tecunuman came face to face with Pedro de Alvarado himself. He fought bravely, but was sadly struck down. As he fell, a Quetzal, which was believed to be his spirit animal, landed on his chest, and its feathers were stained with the prince's blood.
Oh, wow. That's pretty powerful. So is that where the red on the Quetzal's chest comes from?
That's what the legend says. The bird itself became a living memorial to Tecunuman's sacrifice and resistance.
Wow. I could see why the Quetzal is so closely linked to ideas of courage and resistance. And you know what else I've always found fascinating about them? It's that they can't survive in captivity.
It's true, they're fiercely independent creatures. It's said that they die of heartbreak or refuse to eat if they're caged.
Almost as if their very being is tied to the concept of liberty, which makes it even more fitting that Guatemala, a nation that fought hard for its freedom, chose the Quetzal as its national bird.
You see it on their flag, their currency, everywhere.
Such a powerful symbol of a nation that refused to be caged.
And speaking of symbolism, there's another fascinating aspect of the Quetzal in Mayan mythology. They were believed to be messengers of the gods.
Messengers of the gods, what do you mean by that?
Well, think about it. With their ability to soar through the sky, they were seen as a link between the heavens and the earth. They could carry messages between realms.
So not just symbols of freedom, but messengers between worlds. That's incredible.
And then there's this really beautiful and kind of sad legend about the Quetzal song.
The Quetzal song. What about it?
Well, it's said that Quetzals once filled the forests with these beautiful melodies, but they stopped singing when the conquistadors arrived. The legend says they'll only sing again when true peace and harmony return to the land.
Wow. It's a reminder that the impact of colonization goes beyond the political and economic. It affects even the natural world.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, so we've covered a lot about the Quetzal today. Their connection to the gods, to ancient rulers, to brave warriors, and even to the soul of a nation.
It's amazing how much meaning and symbolism is packed into this one creature.
It really is. The Quetzal is a symbol of divinity, sacrifice, freedom, and the hope for peace and harmony. It makes you think about what other stories and symbolism we might be missing.
Hidden in plain sight all around us.
Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and until next time, keep exploring.
And keep listening.